Good morning, good morning. How are we all? Looks like we've got a slightly quiet night tonight. Hi, Chris. How are you? Hi, Ro. I believe that you can you hear me? Can somebody just type a little? Oh, good. You can hear me. That's good. Now, I think you are both regulars, so I probably don't need to do the big spiel, but of course, welcome along to tonight's lesson with Bridget. I think we're doing transfers, which is exciting. And if you have any technical difficulties, don't forget you can wait, refresh, or go back to the link and open the browser tab again. Also, the little Learnbridge Online logo up in the top corner, which I think is that direction, if I'm guessing correctly when I reverse things around. So just click on that and I'll be in the background and can sort you out with any technical challenges. Otherwise, hi, George. George, do you pronounce the S on your name? Is it George's? Jay Brown, hello, welcome. It's nice to see some familiar names. No, it's just George. Hopefully I'm saying it right. George. How are you, Jay Brown? Hi, Sue. Lovely to see you too, Jay Brown. You're always so wonderful. All right. So it's just a small group tonight, so we can probably start the recording. Let's get to it. Let me click the magic button that gets everything started. Just wait for that. Hi, Ro. Good evening, Sue. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome along to another wonderful lesson here at Learnbridge Online. We've got something magic in store tonight, I'm sure, as always. Welcome to both the people who are joining us on the live stream and to those people who are watching the recording at a different time to the rest of us. If you are new and watching the lessons for the first time ever, a very big welcome to you. So, without further ado, let us call up our wonderful bridge teacher. Let me just do that now. Warm welcome for Bridget.
Hello there. Hi, nice to see you.
How are you?
Oh, you're showing off again.
I know. I found a new one.
Oh, anyway, look, it's nice to see you. Beautiful morning here in London. I feel like I've been away for ages. I hope everyone had a chance last week to watch the first part of the transfers. We're going to build on that again today.
I watched some of it, not all of it, but I've got it open on my iPad ready to watch the rest.
Oh, well, the great thing about Learnbridge Online is you can do it at any time, right? So go back and have a look.
And how was your hike, Bridget?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Southern Sweden, would really recommend it. It was just sort of strolling along the coast. Just beautiful.
Oh,
yeah, really nice.
All right. Well, I will leave you to it and I will come back and chat at the end. But enjoy your lesson, everybody.
Yeah, and as always, keep asking those questions as well, Caroline. We'd love to hear from you too.
Will do.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have lots.
See you shortly. Okay, let me just shrink me down and pop to here and show you the slide. So this is the second part of the transfer lesson. Last week, I was sort of going through all the basics on transfers. And when I started thinking about this topic, it dawned on me just what a huge topic it is. So even with these two lessons, we're scratching the surface in some ways. So fire any questions you want at me, but I just want to cover areas that I find I get a lot of questions about, just to really clarify some of these issues that come up for people. So if anything sparks, a question sparks, do just post it and we can try and look at that. I think where I finished last week was on the next. We're going to the next. Why is it not flicking through? So I'm trying to click next and it is not doing it. Why not? What I might do is just take a quick second to upload it again. Hold on a second. I'll try opening it again a new way. Okay, let's try now. Aha, there we go. We've got it. I don't know why that last one didn't work. So I think I finished on common transferring mistakes. Yay. Yeah, no. So these are things that happen a lot. What I might do first up is, just because sometimes it can be good to just work it through together, is I might take everyone to the whiteboard here. So where's the whiteboard? Here it is. Let's delete that one and talk about just some basic stuff that I really want everyone to understand. So if your partner opens one no trump, and I'm talking here, this is going very slowly. I'm talking here about the ACOL one no trump, although the exact same principle applies if you play a strong no trump. So if your partner opens one no trump, and then you transfer to hearts and you've bid 2 diamonds. This is really slow today. I'm not sure why. I don't know if we can persevere with this. No, I think this is going to be, there's something a bit slow about my Wi-Fi. So I will move away from the whiteboard and just take us back instead to the slides. Hold on one second. So if your partner does make a transfer and then you complete the transfer, the key mistake that I see all the time is when the person who's made the transfer, the person who's promised 5 cards, repeats their suit even though they only have 5 of them. That's a really common transferring mistake. So if you've had a transfer, if it's gone 1 no trump, and then it's gone 2 diamonds or 2 hearts to transfer to the major, if the person opposite the 1 no trump hand ever repeats the major, that's saying I have got more than you originally thought, partner. That's now saying I have got at least 6 of these things. I think what happens is people think that once they've transferred and they want to invite, they've got it in their mind that it's a bit like supporting their partner's major, like 1 major, 2 major, 3 major. So they make this mistake of inviting by repeating the major, even though they've only got 5 of them. So it's really important as a fundamental thing to think, if I repeat my major, and I'm the person who's made the transfer, if I repeat my major, I am promising 6 of that major. I'm just going to run through a couple of these hands again. I know we talked about them last week, but I just want to reinforce it again so everyone is very, very clear about that. Let me just take you over to Bridge Base. So this here is your classic 1 no trump opening, but as I said, the exact same principle applies with us if you're playing a strong no trump. It's just the numbers are different for inviting. So got 1 no trump here, 12 to 14. This north hand is what we call a quacky hand. It's very, very queen and jacky. These queen and jacky hands are often not as powerful as hands that have got aces and kings in them. So what bid are they going to make? With the north hand, warm you up with a nice, easy question. Good old-fashioned, yeah. Good old-fashioned 2 hearts to transfer to spades. Okay, question for people. If East doubled here, what would that mean? If East doubles the 2 hearts, what would you play that as? So you're sitting there in the East seat and you make a double, which I wouldn't recommend here, by the way. But I'm just wanting to check. Yeah, Chris is saying, yes, would like a heart lead, and I have hearts. When it's a transfer like this, because you don't know anything about the points, you really do need to have hearts as well as just wanting the heart lead. So I'm expecting 5 hearts from my partner if they double this 2 hearts, and basically saying to your partner, I have this suit. I want you to lead the suit. It's because when this person has bid 2 hearts with the north seat, East can no longer bid 2 hearts. So it's almost like the double means that would have been my bid in a funny kind of way. It's like saying I kind of would have bid 2 hearts if North hadn't come in and bid 2 hearts. So a double here would be saying I have this suit, which East does have, but it also means I want you to lead this suit, which East doesn't have. So East should not double here. So East is passing, and then South completes the transfer because South always does what South is told to do, and bids 2 spades. So next bid by North. So you can see how many points we've got. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. It's an invitational hand. An invitational hand. So the mistake I see here all the time is people thinking, I'm just going to invite by bidding 3 spades. That's the classic mistake that people make. I can totally understand mentally where it's coming from. It's coming from just how we've learnt bridge in the first place, 1 major, 2 major, 3 major, but it's not in this situation. In this situation, it would be locking in spades and promising 6 and saying I'm invitational with 6, which this hand is not. So the correct bid is what from this hand? It knows its partner. North knows her partner has got 12 to 14 points and knows her partner has got at least 2 hearts. So this is just a 2 no trump invitational. So now South knows everything. South knows her partner has got 5 spades, because if she was invitational with 6, she would have repeated her spades. And she also knows she's invitational with not enough for game. So described the hand absolutely beautifully, North. I am invitational with 5 spades. South has got a bit of a question about whether to go up or not. I tend to go up with a 13 count, so I'm going to be bidding 3 no trumps here. So we've ironed out that mistake. Let's have a look at another one. Very, very similar. This is a really lovely 13 count, this one, because of that 5-card suit. Every time you have a 5-card suit and a 1 no trump holding thing, that's better than a very balanced one. 5-card suits are very good things in no trumps. So this is a weak no trump again, 12 to 14 for us, 1 no trump. Not good enough for West to do anything. So we've got the transfer, 2 hearts saying bid spades partner. Could be anything at this stage. There's a 2 spade bid by South. Okay, so what's the bid by North, everybody? I'm sorry if this is a bit basic for some, but I just want to hammer it home because I see so many people making this mistake. Yep, 3 no trumps now. So it's basically saying, North is saying, I know that you have got 12 to 14 points. I know you have at least 2 spades. Given that information, I'm happy to play in 3 no trumps. I can't guarantee an 8-card major fit. So 3 no trumps is the place to play for me, from my perspective. That doesn't mean the auction is all over and South is going to do what? Yep, everyone's getting this perfectly. You take it back to 4 spades because South has more information. South knows there's an extra spade in the pile here. He knows that North has got 5. He's got 3. So we've got 8 spades, magic fit in spades, and this person now is going to bid 4 spades. So we had a really good question from Chris, and he has said, if we get an overcall of 2 diamonds, are transfers off? So I play that they are off. I play as soon as there's been interference, transfers are off. These things are all up to partnership agreement, and often people's systems will be adapted around, what you agree. So all the continuations. But for me, I just play that that it's just totally off. Transfers are off. So if we did have that situation, let's take it back again. It does make things a bit harder for us. So if West comes in and makes a 2 diamond bid here, and we play that transfers are now off, then if you do bid 2 spades here, to me, that is just to play. That's saying I've got no aspirations opposite your 12 to 14 points to go any further than 2 spades. So I'm kind of expecting about an 8 count from my partner. So it does make it harder, and a lot of people develop quite complicated system here to cope with it. But I just suggest playing, if a bid at the 2 level now is just to play. If you have a hand like this hand, which is game forcing, you have to come in at the 3 level and bid 3 spades to say, I am game forcing partner and I have 5 spades. If you had 6 spades and you were game forcing, what would you bid? Yeah, you'd just jump in with 4 spades if you were 6 spades and game forcing. So the key point about this one, this 3 spade bid is game forcing. That's your way of saying I've got 5 spades and we're going to game. So that would be the way you would deal with this kind of interference. If the opponents interfere, I play that system is off. So you do have to be careful. If you want to make a game forcing bid, don't bid in at the 2 level. You have to come in at the 3 level to force to game in that situation. Okay, I'm just going to look at a couple more of these. Just lock it in. The 1 no trump opening again. No chance West is coming in this time. Okay, what have we got for the bid from North? So the good old 2 diamonds. I'm just going to take a quick pause to answer a question from Caroline. She's just asked, if you do double, so this situation where they double for the lead, in this situation, does it promise 4? And I would say it normally actually promises 5, because you can actually be left in that contract. So the last thing you want is for the opponents to, say you doubled that with the ace of diamonds, it would be a terrible thing to do, and only 3 of them, because the opponents might think, hey, we've got tons of diamonds, we're going to play in 2 diamonds doubled. I've seen it happen a couple of years ago in the Worlds, or the American Championships, that happened to a sort of a world-class player. Someone doubled for the lead with a suit that shouldn't really have doubled for the lead. He took a bit of a risk, doubled for the lead, and the opponents thought, that looks nice, we've got that suit, we're going to leave it in. And they made more money by playing in that suit doubled than finding another suit or playing in no trump. So you do have to be careful about doubling for the lead, especially when there haven't been a lot of points sort of shown. But here, no way anyone is doubling for the lead with that measly 3-card suit with the highest card of 7. So they are passing. This person is completing the transfer. Now, I want everyone to think, North hand. Is this North hand now invitational or not? Chris is thinking it's invitational, so is George. I think it's invitational as well. So as soon as you know that you've got an 8-card fit in a major, that magic fit, you can add points for shortage. So 10 counts with a 6-card suit and some 9 counts with a 6-card suit are often going to be invitational or game forcing, because you can add your shortage points in here. So this hand for me has suddenly gone up from being a 10 count to being an 11 count. And those 9s, 8s, and 7s, that nice line of hearts, is also something of value in that heart suit. So this now becomes an invitational hand, and then they know that they have got a magic fit in hearts. So what's their bid if they're invitational and they know the suit is hearts? So 2 no trumps would be saying, I've got 5 of them and I'm invitational. North wants to tell her partner something more than her partner knew already. So if you bid 2 no trumps, she's just expecting 5 hearts from you with an invitational hand. So 3 hearts now becomes your bid. It's saying, hey, guess what, partner? I'm telling you more about my hand than you knew before. Before you knew I only had 5 hearts. Now you know that I have got 6 hearts and I'm invitational. I think I said last week this bid doesn't happen that often, and it normally doesn't, because often you're just going to game with these hands when you've got a 6-card suit. But here I think it's probably good. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, they love it. They're just going to go up and bid for hearts. I think might have one more of these common mistake ones. You can probably guess what it's going to be. Beautiful 12 count. That diamond suit is just gorgeous. The king, the queen, the jack to 5 and diamonds is such a powerful suit. So 1 no trump. West is not good enough to do anything. 2 diamonds. East must not double for the lead here, because it would not just be asking for the lead. It would also be saying I've got some sort of length in that suit. So even though they've got the ace, they do not double here, because they might pass it, which is exactly what would happen here. If they doubled for the lead, South would think, that's nice. 2 diamonds doubled. Fantastic. So they're passing. And this person now bids 2 hearts. And the bid now from North. North knows fact that they have an 8-card heart fit. So North can now start adding shortages into the mix. I give myself about 3 points for a singleton. This is a perfect, well done, Caroline, jump to 4 hearts. I want to play this contract in 4 hearts opposite your 12 to 14, even if you only have 2 hearts. This feels like, or is to me, a 4-heart contract. Okay, so we've gone through that. So hopefully that is crystal clear now. and that you will only be ever repeating your major if you're the person who's transferred, if you have got 6 of them. So what does it mean, is the next slide, to transfer and show a second suit? So sometimes you'll see this. You might be playing on Bridge Base on some of the challenges, and you'll see them transferring and then showing a second suit. So basically, if you transfer and then show a second suit, it's a way of showing the shape of your hands, showing that you've got at least 5, obviously, in the suit you've transferred to, and then 4 in the second suit. Normally, it is always going to be 5 and 4 in the second suit, because if you had 6, you're probably doing the invitational because you know that you've got that magic fit in the major. So if you transfer to a major and show a second suit, it's going to be 5 and 4, or 4 or more in the second suit. It's particularly, the situation I want to look at is when you've got both majors with 5 or 4. There is a bit of toolkit that some people use called Smolin. Has anyone come across Smolin? It's a good way of showing a 5-4 major suit when you're game forcing. It's particularly good if you play a strong no trump. It's not such a useful tool if you're playing a weak no trump, but strong no trump, people play it a lot. So Smolin is another way of showing these 5-4 shapes in the majors. So you might come across that at some stage, but a very normal way, if you've got 5-4 in the majors, if you want to be able to show it, is often a good way to start by transferring and then showing your second suit. A bit of the problem with it is that if you show a second suit at the 2 level, it's invitational. And as if you show a second suit at the 3 level, it's game forcing. So you can see there's a bit of a problem. So if you have got spades as your 5-card suit and hearts as your 4-card suit, you are going to force your partner to bid 2 spades. So to show your second 4-card heart suit is going to have to come in at the 3 level. So it would have to go 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades, 3 hearts. So as soon as you do that, you're game forcing. You have to be very aware of that. So you can't show invitational hands with spades and hearts by transferring to the spades and then bidding the hearts. So George has said Stamen. That's what I would do. So if I've got 5-4 invitational, where the spades is my 5-card suit, because I know you've always got to think about these things before you begin the process. You look at the hand and think, my spades is my 5-card suit, hearts is my 4-card suit. I'm only invitational, so you can't afford down the line to come in later with that heart suit at the 3 level because it's game forcing. So if that's the case, I would probably just bid Stamen with that hand. I just think that's a shame. I might miss a 5-3 fit, but it seems to me better, at least, to try and get across the fact that I've got both majors. But if it's the other way around, if your longer suit is hearts and your second suit spades, you can always show the spades because it would go 1 no trump, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, and 2 spades now shows the second suit, and that's invitational. Keynote though, and I'm just going to show some hands on this, if you do bid the 2 spades, your partner can pass that because it is only invitational. If you're game forcing, you need to push to the 3 level with that spade suit. We'll have a look at this in a second. So I know it's hard to visualize all these things. So if I went 1 no trump, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, and you were game forcing as a responder with that 5-4 suit, you would have to jump to 3 spades. Let me take you across and have a look at these hands. Let me redeal this one. Okay, so this one here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the opening and 1 no trump. So North immediately thinks I'm game forcing here. North knows he's game forcing. So he's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points. So he knows he's definitely happy to be in game opposite the 12 to 14 count from his partner. He also knows if he transfers to spades and then bids his hearts, the hearts are going to come in at the 3 level. And if you show your second suit at the 3 level, it is game forcing. But North would be happy to do that here because North is game forcing. So the key about these things is to think through at the very beginning what your next bid is going to be and whether you can afford to make that next bid. And here you can. So you start by bidding 2 hearts, the transfer to spades. East is not doubling because even though they've got 5, they do not want the lead in that necessarily. Pass, Now they're going to come in and complete the transfer, pass. And when they bid 3 hearts, that's showing this 5-4 shape. And it is also saying I must be game forcing if I'm introducing a new suit at the 3 level. The logic for that is, when you think about it, it's very clear why it must be game forcing if you're introducing a new suit at the 3 level. And it's because say it turned out that North had 3 hearts and only 2 spades. Where do they have to go if they don't have an 8 card fit in either major? Where's the only place they can sign off? They basically, in that situation, have to reply 3 no trumps. So if they don't have a fit in either of the major, they have to reply 3 no trumps. And that's the reason it's game forcing, because you're forcing your partner to bid 3 no trumps if they don't have a fit in either of the major. So new suit at the 3 level, game forcing. Here, though, what is South going to do? Got a lot of information about her partner's hand, at least 5 spades, at least 4 hearts. Well, 5 spades, sorry, and 4 hearts. Yeah, 4 spades. Says that's great news. Thank you very much, partner, for describing your hand to me. And bids 4 spades. Let's pop this next one on. Cool. Nice 12 count, 1 no trump. Okay, so this is an invitational hand. So North is thinking, I have an invitational hand. So now North has to start imagining the process. Can North know that she can describe her hand by bidding her hearts, then her spades? Is it going to be possible for North to do that? Yes, it is. Yes, because when they bid their second suit, it's only going to be at the 2 level, which is invitational. So North knows it's fantastic. They can start by bidding this 2 diamonds. No double for the lead by East, because again, they've only got 3 of them. So they pass. And then South bids 2 hearts. He does what he's told. Now, what's the bid by North? Two spades. So it's at the 2 level, so it's only invitational. Guess what, partner? I have got 5 hearts, 4 spades, and I'm an invitational hand. And then South is going to think what? 12 points. Likes the king. I think there's probably just past the 2 spades. You're thinking if 12 points plus an 11 count, the king of hearts is nice. That could go nicely, but you might have too many losers in the hand. I think I might wimp out. 12. It's got a 4-4 and I think I probably would wimp out here and wouldn't raise it. Let's have a look what we've got. Yeah, we did well. And actually, doesn't take much to work it out, does it? You can see you've got a couple of diamond losers there and a heart loser. And I think you probably can't get the timing right. Okay, this one here. This is the one that could be, you just got to watch this one. So invitational game forcing. Oh, actually, this is similar. This is one where it's still invitational. So they're bidding 2 diamonds, 2 hearts. This time they show their second suit, and this time South loves it. I think that was the only difference between those 2 hands. It's a bigger hand by South. So South this time is going to accept the invitation and jump up to 4 spades with that information. This next one, I think, is probably the one where we've got the game forcing situation with hearts and spades. So 1 no trump opening. Pass over here. So game forcing, invitational. Everyone can see it's a game forcing hand here with the hearts and spades. So Chris has asked a great question I'm going to come to in a second. So 2 diamonds, telling your partner to bid 2 hearts. So what's the bid now? 2 spades is just invitational. So you've got to be really careful about this one. You don't want your partner to pass. Great, Caroline. You have to jump. You've got to come in now at the 3 level to say to your partner, I'm game forcing with at least 5 hearts and 4 spades. And now this person thinks, okay, that's lovely news. We've got an 8 card fit in the heart suit. So we're going to go for that. So Chris has just said, and it's a really good question, and there are in fact whole books written about this question. Is it better to play in a 5-3 fit or a 4-4 fit? So let's have everyone's view on that one. What does everyone think? 4-4 or 5-3? What's better? Caroline's thinking 5-3. 4-4. Oh, Rose thinking 5-3. All right, just Chris 4-4. Yeah, it's the 4-4 fit is actually better normally, unless one side has shown that they've got extreme length in the suit. Because if one side said they've got some sort of extreme length in the suit, it's kind of likely that you're going to get a nasty split in the trumps. But normally, if you've got a choice between a 4-4 fit and a 5-3 fit, you should go for the 4-4 fit. It's got a couple of advantages. Firstly, you can turn either hand into the shorthand for roughing. So you've got flexibility with the hand. You can look at the 2 4-card suits and think, which one of these is weaker? Which one can I use to turn into the shorthand for roughing? Or depends on where the rest of the cards are in your hand. So you do get flexibility for that roughing in the shorthand, which is often the way that you make your tricks in the trump contract. There's another really good reason why 4-4 fits are usually better than 5-3 fits. So it's not just the roughing potential. Can anyone think of the other reason why it's really good? The 5-3 fit, the 5-3 suit is still a very useful part of the equation. So that's your clue. You use your 4-4 suit as your trumps. And the 5-3 suit, rather than being trumps, become a way to establish a long suit and to knock out losers in your other suits. So you can set up a long suit with a 5-3 fit. So 5-3 side suits are really useful for getting rid of losers in other suits in your hand. So if you do have this choice, and it's a really good question, because in this sort of bidding sequence, sometimes you will have a choice. If you do have a choice to play in a 4-4 fit or a 5-3 fit, it's normally right to go for the 4-4 fit rather than the 5-3 fit. Great way of having flexibility on which hand is the roughing hand, and also a great way to have an extra side suit to throw away your losers. And remember, the caveat, depending on how you say that, is if you've had a bidding sequence where maybe one side opens 3 diamonds or something and shows a lot of length, that's when you might be thinking, maybe I don't want to play in a 4-4 fit now rather than a 5-3 fit, because I might end up with this really nasty trump break. I might end up with like a 4-1 trump break, which is much harder to handle when you have got a 4-4 fit than when you've got a 5-3 fit. So that's an interesting sort of theory. 4-4 fits. Good question, Chris. Thank you very much. So let me pop you back to the slides. I think we've looked at those. We've looked at those ways of bidding one suit then another, and focused in on the fact that if you show your second suit at the 2 level, it's invitational with 5 and 4. And if you show your second suit at the 3 level, it's game forcing with 5 or 4. This is the question we just talked about before. What if ops interfere over the transfer? And this is not the question we talked about before. The question we talked about before is when the opponents have interfered over that 1-no trump opening. This is a slightly different question. What happens if the opponents interfere once the transfer has been made? So this is really important, and it does change the whole bidding dynamics. So if you open a no trump and your partner transfers, if the opponents interfere in any way, if they double or if they come in and bid a suit, you must not complete the transfer if you've only got 2 of them. So in some ways, it actually, when the opponents interfere, it actually gives you an ability to tell your partner more about your holding. If you bid after the opponents have interfered, you are promising at least 3 card support for your partner's suit. If you come in, if they've interfered and pushed you up to the 3 level, you've probably got 4 card support, unless you've got a really good hand, something decent in your hand. Yeah, that's that last point. So you can complete the transfer over interference with 3 card support at the 3 level if you've got a very, very good hand. I'm going to just pop in some of these hands. So take you across again to bridge base again. Hope we get some sort of interference here. Okay. This is a very, very nice 14 count. It's nice because it's got a 5 card suit. It'd be nicer if the high card points were in that 5 card suit, but it's still a very good 14 count. 1 no trump. So this person in the north hand for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is going to transfer. You transfer with any hand with 0 plus points if you've got a 5 card major. So 2 hearts. Okay, I think everyone's clear now about what we should be doing with the east hand. They're going to double to say, that's my suit partner. I want the lead in that suit. So should South complete the transfer now? South no longer has to complete the transfer because there's been another bid. So the transfer point count for transferring is 0 points, Caroline. If you've got 0 points, you should transfer. The fewer points you have, the more important it is to transfer. So South can't complete the transfer now. If South does it, South bids 2 spades, South is promising his partner at least 3 spades. So when South passes, it's really useful for North because North now knows that her partner's only got 2 spades. So there's going to be a pass here, and now North has to be the one to come in and bid 2 spades. So in a funny way, it gives more ways of describing your hand to your partner sometimes when you have some sort of level of interference. Okay, I've got 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. So 1 no trump. Very jacky hand with West. 12 count here with the North hand, starting with a transfer. Double by East. I really like that suit. I want you to lead that suit. It's almost as if I would have overcalled 2 hearts if North had not bid 2 hearts. That's what that double means. Okay, so what should South do? This is one of these situations where it's actually helped out North-South by having an overcall. Yep, they should bid 2 spades and complete the transfer. So telling North now that they have 3 or more spades. What would you do with the West hand? I'll be sitting there with the West hand thinking my partner's got 5 hearts. I've got 4 of them. I'm going to bid for as many tricks as we've got trumps. I would raise with the West hand and bid 3 hearts. And the North hand. So North now has more information than if East hadn't overcalled. So the North hand has 12 points, plus now they know that their partner must have 3 cards because their partner completed the transfer. So if their partner completed the transfer, they've got 3 hearts, which means they now have a magic fit in spades. So as soon as they know they've got a magic fit, they can start giving themselves extra points for shortage. And that doubleton is worth a point. So this now becomes a clear 4 spade bid. They're thinking, thank you for interfering. That made our life easier. I'm going to now bid 4 spades because I know that we have got an 8 card fit in that major. Did I have another one of those ones? No, I think we are now hopping over to the very exciting topic of should you transfer with a minor? Is it worth transferring to a minor? Who here does actually transfer with the minors? What if East bids 5 hearts? I would double them. Someone's got to double them if East does that. So transfers to the minors, yes. Okay, so people are familiar with it. There's lots of different ways of transferring to the minors. So the most basic way of transferring to the minor, which I really like because I think it's simple and very easy to remember, is that if your partner opens one no trump and you want to transfer to a minor, I start by bidding 2 spades. My partner then bids 3 clubs, and then I either pass that if clubs is my suit, or I correct it to 3 diamonds if that's my suit. So because you can pass that 3 clubs, you're not making these transfers to the minor unless you have a weak hand in this way. If you had a strong hand over the one no trump, I would just come in and bid that minor at the 3 level. I'm only really doing that with a strong hand if I'm thinking genuinely that I would rather play in a 5 card minor than in 3 no trumps. So usually the reason you're doing that is because you're interested in 6, or because you're worried about 3 no trumps. So for me, the transfers to the minor using this system is something that you do with weak hands. So Verona said that's her way as well. There's lots of different ways of doing this, but this is a simple, easy to remember way of doing it. The key, though, is with all this stuff is just because you can transfer to a minor does not mean that you should transfer to a minor. Like all these things in bridge, when people have kit, they like to use it. It's that kind of whole hammer nail thing again that we talk about, that if you see something, you kind of have an instinctive desire to use your toolkit. But minors, remember, are worth 20 points each. They're not great things. So don't transfer to a minor if you think it's going to play well in no trumps. No trumps is going to get more points for you. So transferring to the minor might give you a bottom board. Transfer to the minor if you're really worried that one no trump is a bad situation, is a bad place to be. And you're thinking, sometimes you'll be thinking, look, we're going down anyway, but we're going to go down fewer in 3 of a minor. That can be your thought. And sometimes you might think, we might make 3 of a minor and we might not make one no trump. But be careful about transferring to the minor. You're doing it because you're thinking that one no trumps is a bad place to be if you're transferring to the minor. Rosemary said, what about when 2 spades means exactly 11 points or a long minor? Yep. So all these things, Rosemary, are systems that you can do, and it is a matter of agreeing these with your partner. So with some partners, I play different things. So you can come up with all sorts of systems for how you do the transfers to the minor. Let's look at this first hand here. In this situation. So if you were sitting here and you had that minor holding with North, what are you thinking? Are you thinking that no trumps is going to play badly or well? I mean, you never know for sure. You got 13 points. It looks great, right? It looks like a really good 3 no trump hand. The last thing you want to do is throw your partner into a club holding. Have a 6 card minor can be a really, really valuable thing for playing in no trumps. Often I'm upgrading hands with a 6 card minor and bidding 3 no trumps, even though I've even got a 10 or 11 count. It can be a bit of a risk, but 6 cards in a minor, when you've got a chunky number of points, are fantastic for 3 no trumps often. Puppeting is just the expression that you use to force your partner to bid a suit, and you will see how it works in a minute. So the 2 spades, 3 clubs is just telling your partner to puppet. It's telling your partner to bid 3 clubs. I don't know why it is called puppeting. Maybe it's something to do with like holding the strings, like directing your partner to do something, but that's what puppeting means. But here, what would be your bid in this situation? So 1 no trump myself. It feels like this is going to be amazing for no trumps. Yeah, 3 no trumps. Boom. And they're probably going to lead a spade in this situation. 4th from the king. If they do, it's really important in this sort of situation to jump up with your queen here and hope that they did from the king. Otherwise, your queen will never make a trick. So it's kind of now or never in this situation. When you've got a doubleton queen and dummy like this and you've got the ace in your hand, it's important to jump up with a queen and try that queen. And there it does actually hold. Had a really good question from Chris this week, by the way. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how to get better at bridge. quickly. And we talked about the two different sort of strategies. You've got your short-term strategy of really focusing on learning your bidding and getting a good partnership and things that you can do easily, learning your scoring. And the other strategy is just practice, 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 expecting it to take more time. Chris pointed out, and he's right, and we do talk about this, that you can get better quickly or just by really taking time at the very beginning of the hand to plan the play. It is amazing what a difference it makes if you plan the play at trick one. So if you're the declarer, as soon as the dummy comes down, don't feel bad about taking time to plan the play. Just pause, stop, think about your tricks and work it out. So when you see this, you'll be thinking, if that queen holds, it's great. Then you would be thinking you're going to have to knock out the ace of clubs and also the ace of hearts. So let's try another weak hand with a minor. I think that's what we're going to be getting next. This is a 1 no trump. So here we've got a 4-4 major situation with West. So I know a long time ago we talked about these landy bids. So if you bid 2 clubs here, that's showing both majors, but you really should be showing 5-4 in the majors. Sometimes if I'm not vulnerable, and here you can see they are vulnerable. So the red around the 3 on the west and east means they're vulnerable. If you're vulnerable, never do landy with a 4-4 shape. It's only if you're not vulnerable. Sometimes you might put a sneaky 2 clubs in there because you want to show your partner that you've got both majors. It can go wrong, but don't ever do it vulnerable. So they are going to pass. So this is a nasty, potentially a nasty holding for no trumps. North would be thinking, you know, I do have the 6-card club suit, but what's the potential problem with the club suit here in no trumps? Is it going to be difficult for your partner to use these clubs? I mean, sometimes you're going to strike it lucky and your partner might have like the ace, king, small of clubs, in which case it would be really good in no trumps. But there's a lot of potential problems as well. There's no entries. Well done, a sleepy Shauna. There's no entries. So if they can't set up this club suit, then that hand becomes worthless to them. It's just a completely nothing hand that's of no use to your partner. And it's very likely that they're not going to be able to set up the club entries with this hand. So this is the kind of hand where it's, to me, very weak. And I'm thinking this could play so badly in no trumps. And you can see here that's exactly what would happen. They wouldn't be able to set up the entries. So that you'd play the king of clubs and then East would duck it. And then when you tried to establish the clubs again, East would take the ace and then you've got no more clubs to get across to the hand. So that becomes a worthless dummy. So this is a situation to me where I would be thinking, I've got this toolkit to transfer to a minor. I know I have to use this toolkit when it's safe. I don't want to just always transfer to a minor, but this feels like a kind of hand that is going to play better in 3 clubs than in 1 no trumps. And it does happen far too often. Sometimes, Sleepy Shauna, you might get some bad defense and they might take their ace of clubs too quickly and you will make it. But sometimes you're just stuffed and you think 3 of a minor would have been a good place to play. It would be good. So here we're going to bid this 2 spades and now we're going to get this puppet business coming on. So partner puppets to 3 clubs. I'm bidding 3 clubs because you have told me to bid it, partner. It's nothing about anything else. And then North does what? What does North do? Their partners bid 3 clubs, but they want them to pass. Yeah. So North passes and South's playing the contract in 3 clubs, which is going off. But let's look what happens if you, let's unwind it. If the defense are decent defenders, I'll just hide the double dummy for a sec to let it reset. It's much worse if you end up going off, if you go off in 1 no trump. The other thing that might happen here is that they could easily actually end up funding their spade contract. So in a funny way, it's actually been quite preemptive for you. So you've gone off and these guys, West and East, have also not been able to find their spade contract, which is an interesting outcome as well. Okay, so I'm going to hide that double dummy. And I think we've got another one of these weak hands. So just to show how this puppet business works again. So a 1 no trump. So 13 count by West. West can't do anything with this flat balanced 13 count. This is the power, really, of the ACOL 1 no trump, the 12 to 14 week no trump. That's one of the best things about this bid, because it becomes very hard for the opponents to come in. They often can't get across the strength of their hand to their partner as easily. Okay, so what do we do now? North is thinking, oh my God, this is awful. I have got the worst hand. It's going to be of no value at all to my partner. So it's this 2-spade bid. South does what? South knows that they have to puppet to 3 clubs. So I'm doing what I'm told, partner. I'm just being a puppet, I guess. And now North does what? 3 diamonds. So North corrects it. So South needs to know that that is a weak hand if you're using the system. South doesn't think, hey, I've got 3 really good diamonds. Let's bid 5 diamonds. South needs to know that their partner is weak if you're using this particular type of transferring to the minor. So South goes, cool. And I love my 3 diamonds as well. So South passes and they end up playing in 3 diamonds, which is not going to make. But let's go back again and look how it would be if we were left in 1 no trump with no entries to the dummy. Let's pop it in again. So 3 off if you're playing in 1 no trump, and only 1 off if you're playing in 3 diamonds. And again, you can see that the opponents have also missed a major fit. So they have missed out on a spade fit again. So you would have done well here if you were playing in 3 diamonds going down 1. I think we've got a little bit of time to also talk about the super accept, which I actually really love doing the super accept. Who's come across the idea of the super accept before? Does anyone play super accepts? Oh yeah, Sleepy Shauna, brilliant. Rosemary hasn't. They're getting more and more common, the super accept, and I think that's quite a useful idea. George hasn't either. Excellent. Cool. So I can teach something new for some people, which is always fun. So the super accept is this very fun idea that if your partner transfers and you really love it, so sometimes your partner will transfer and you'll think, gosh, I cannot believe that my partner's just transferred into the most favorite suit in my hand, of which I have 4 or 5 cards. So you might be opening a balanced 1 no trump and you've got 4 delicious hearts, and then your partner transfers to hearts. And you think, gosh, like, wow. So that means my partner has 5 of these and we've got at least 9 cards in this suit. So in that situation, when you've got a 9-card fit, you've got a much better combined holding than a normal transfer situation where you maybe only have 2 or 3. So what you don't want your partner to do if you've got a 9-card fit is to pass if they've got some sort of like quite decent, slightly sub-invitational hand. So opposite a 1 no trump, which is a weak no trump, if they're sitting there with a 9 count and they've got some sort of shortage, you can be making 4 in the major often because you've got 9-card fit between the 2 hands. And if you're open to strong no trump, sort of 15 to 17, it could be even fewer. You maybe have 5 or 6 points, but you've got some sort of shortage and you suddenly think this is going to make 4 of the major. So knowing that your partner has got 4 of the major and a good hand can be really, really useful. And the super accept is an easy thing to do. Occasionally it will go wrong for you. So you'll transfer, your partner will transfer and you'll super accept, and then your partner will put down a 0 count and you think, oh, we would have made 2, but we're not making 3. And that does go wrong. But the logic behind it is, if that's the case, the opponents have probably should be making something. So it's kind of also got preemptive value as well. And on balance, it will work out more often than it doesn't work out. So if you do try the super accept and it doesn't work for you, don't give up hope on the super accept, because like all things in bridge, it's all about playing the statistics, playing that over and over again over a large number of hands. Over a large number of hands, the super accept is a good idea. But 2 criteria for the super accept. So you have to be high in the range for your no trump if you've got a 4-card support for your partner. So if your partner transfers and you've got 4-card support, for you to super accept, and that means jumping a level, if you super accept, you need 14 or a good 13. So you've got to have high in your range if you've got 4 cards. If you've got 5 cards, super accept even if you've got low in the range. That's because you've got a 10 card heart fit or spade fit. That's like amazing. So even if you're low in your range, super accept if you've got 5. And it will work really well for your partner because they will now know to add shortages into the mix and try and work out whether you can make game on these hands. And as we said, the logic normally is you'll be safe at the 3 level with your maximum point count and your lovely trumps. So it's worth taking the risk of bidding up to the 3 level. I'm going to just let me hide that double dummy, redeal it, and bring you across to an example of the super accept. Here we have one here. Clearly, you need to tell your partner you're playing super accepts. Run through the logic with your partner of super accepts. Otherwise, they're going to get a super accepts. Otherwise, they're going to get a terrible fright and think that you have maybe misclicked or pulled out the wrong bid. So it's good to discuss it, but it's a very easy, simple piece of kit to tell your partner about. So 1 no trump here. This person's got a 10 count. So they will be thinking, I'm going to transfer, and then I'm going to pass. That's what they'll be thinking normally. So if my partner just bids 2 hearts over my transfer, I'm just passing because I've only got a 10 count and I can't guarantee a fit. So they start by bidding 2 diamonds. And this person is thinking, I'm high in my range. They've got a really good 13 count. That diamond suit is nice with all those honors in it. They've got a double tin. So this is, for me, high end of the range with 4. So rather than just bidding 2 hearts, they are going to super accept, say to their partner, hey, guess what? I love hearts and I'm high in the range. So they jump to 3 hearts. They'll have to alert it. Super accept. And if you're playing in real life, it has to be North who is alerting that, the partner. Thanks, Ro, for that. Yep. And then what would North think? North knows now they've got a 9 card heart fit. North is suddenly, her whole hand is looking much better than before. Now they know they've got this 9 card heart fit. If they ask what they say if super accept means, you say that you're maximum in your range and you've got 4 of the suit or you've got 5 of the suit. So it's saying they love my suit. So North now knows to go to 4 hearts. And North wouldn't have known that if you didn't do the super accept. So they get to 4 hearts and it's a lovely contract. And a lot of people in the room won't be in 4 hearts. They'll only be in 2, but you'll be in 4 hearts making. And as I said again, what would have happened if you hadn't played super accepts here with this sort of hand, when South bids 2 hearts, North would think, nah, I know sometimes this is going to work for me. If my partner's got 3 hearts or 4 hearts, we could be making 4 here. But North only has 10 points, so North would pass. And then you won't be getting to your game. So it's a good and useful bid. And as I said, if you get burnt by it the first time, don't worry, because over a number of hands, it is the right thing to do, a super accept over a large number of hands. Look at, let's pop in one more of these delicious super accepts again. 14 points, 1 no trump, pass. Okay. So coming back to Caroline's questions, what's the minimum number of points to do a transfer? It's a donut. Nothing. So 1 point here, you are definitely transferring. At least you can give your partner 5 trumps. So you start by bidding 2 diamonds, a transfer to hearts. East is not doubling for the lead. East does not want the lead, even though they've got 5. They actually want their partner to lead spades. And now South is going to do the super accept. So then the dummy comes down. And you're actually making here, even with only 1 point. But the funny thing is even if you weren't making, this could be a good bid. How come? Why could it possibly still be a good outcome here, even if you weren't making? I think Rosemary's worked it out. You've kept the ops out, yeah. So again, they've got a spade fit here. They might have actually managed to find their spade fit, and they're probably making 4 spades. In fact, I think they would be making 4 spades here. They lose 2 hearts. No, they're not. But they're making a part score in spades. Losing 2 clubs and 2 hearts. Yeah, but they're definitely making a part score in spades. So you've kept them out of the auction in this situation. And here you actually are even making 3 hearts. So in a funny way, these super accept, this is kind of an interesting point. The super accepts are even more useful if you're super accepting a heart suit than a spade suit, because it's more preemptive, because it's going to take the opponents out of their ability to bid spades. It's your best level with 9 trumps. It all comes back to, that's from Chris, all comes back to this idea of bidding to the level of fit, bidding for as many tricks as you've got trumps. So super accepts, hopefully you'll get a chance this week to try some of those out. Don't forget to run through with your partner exactly what it means. There's other sorts of super accepts you can do as well if you ever want to expand your bidding system, but that's the basic super accept. That's the I have got 4 and a maximum or 5 trumps, and that you want to be that you really want your partner to raise to game if they've got fewer points than they would normally raise to game. So any questions on anything there, anybody? Oh yeah, do try it and let me know how you get on. Keep sending me the questions online as well. Really enjoy them. Next week I'm going to look at some hand evaluation stuff, which I think is really useful.
Hello, that was so interesting. I was struggling to keep up with writing my notes and watching the hands at the same time, so I was like losing track. But I feel like I learned so much. Like I've been using transfers for a while now, but just and so part of it is just habit. But really thinking through, for example, when you bid a minor, when you bid, transfer to a minor, that's really important. And the distinction between a weak hand and a stronger hand, and just being clearer in my head about that. Yes. And I love the super accept as well. I'd heard the term, but I had no idea what it was. Yeah. So
easy to learn, easy to apply, right? And don't forget, you can always watch the lessons again. So sometimes when I watch things online, I find they go a bit slow, so I speed them up. But not everyone's like me. I know I'm flat out.
You can. I don't know if everybody knows that, but you can speed up the actual speed of the video.
Yeah. So and sometimes it's useful.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because it means that if you're going through something that you've heard before, you can put me on to get to the next bit where you need to
and then slow it down again. Yeah.
That's clever. Yeah. So practice around it.
It's great. Yeah. Cool. So that was just another fantastic lesson. So I feel like I definitely want to go back and watch that video again. I was having a few technical issues at the beginning as well. Like I think it was being a little bit, the connection was a little bit funny.
Oh, it was a bit laggy, yeah. So we couldn't use the whiteboard. It's okay though, because we had the hands. So, but yeah, do look at it.
Yeah, I think after that you froze for a little while, but I don't know if that's for everybody. So I'll go back and watch it, see if I can pick up what was being said there. Cool. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much again. And what have you got in store for us next week?
Hand evaluation. So, when we sort of talk about how valuable 5-card suits are and where your honors are in suits, I want to really go through and just talk about, when you're looking at your hand, how good is your hand really? So not all 12 counts are the same. Some you pick up a 12 count and you think, hey, this is an amazing 12 count. Sometimes you pick up a 12 count and think, this is rubbish. Same with a 9 count. Sometimes I pick up a 9 count.
Maybe it's a quacky hand. I'd never I'd never heard that term before, but it's great.
It's a quacky hand.
All the time now.
Yeah, exactly. You don't just have to call your parents quacky anymore.
No, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay, nice to see everybody.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your week. We'll see you again next week.
See ya.